right, let's see. I just got my fresh cut. Actually, it's funny. By the time you see this, I would have gotten this haircut 3 weeks ago, so doesn't really matter. Okay, all right. Anyway, so today is a very dramatic day for us. Because we are, I mean, what we're learning today is the very apex of the entire year, which is the quadratic formula. Okay, so it's been a very long climb uphill, certainly for all of us. And we're here. Okay, so we're going to spend the next 3 days on the quadratic formula. All right, I still remember the day when I learned it in high school. So, and I hope that, even in these circumstances, that one day you will look back and one day maybe you look back and think, oh man, I still remember the day I learned this, because you will see this in high school again. Okay, all right, so all right, let's get started. Okay, all right, so here we go. All right, so write this down. Okay, what is this? If you're at home, unit, I have no idea. Okay, all right, unit 11, day something. All right, you write it down. Quadratic formula. Okay, so like I said several times already leading up to this very day, that the quadratic formula, basically it's the tool you use when all the other tools fail. Now let's quickly again review what the tools are. Okay, I won't talk about it again because I mentioned it yesterday, so I'll just show you the list of things that we've done. Right, so here's the list of things, right, all the tools we have, and starting with the GCF and kind of working our way all the way to the quadratic formula. Okay, so which is quite dramatic. Okay, I gotta stop using that word. So it's one of those tools. All right, if you are trying to use a screwdriver, right, you have a very tiny screw and you want to use a screwdriver to, like, I don't know, put two things together, and that somehow doesn't work, and then you take a bigger screwdriver and that didn't work, and then you take a larger hammer and that didn't work. Like, this is it. Like, that's the quadratic formula. All right, it's a very, very blunt instrument. All right, it helps you get to the answer no matter what, whether you have, so think about yesterday's discriminant lesson, right, whether you have two solutions, right, like your standard, very standard kind of parabola, whether you have one solution, right, like a parent's parabola, all right, or something with no solutions where you're gonna get imaginary numbers, right? You're always gonna get an answer from the quadratic formula. So so it sounds like it's too good to be true, right? And it is too good to be true. Well, it's not too good to be true, but what's the downside to that? What's the cost you have to pay? Well, the formula looks something like this, all right? Maybe, should I show that to you first? No, okay. I'll show you that in a second, okay? Now I'll show it to you right now. So the formula looks like this. Okay, so in a moment, we're gonna come back and I'll give you a moment to copy this, all right? If you wanna copy it now, you can, even though I did mention it yesterday already, okay? So, yeah, now, before we start actually looking at the formula, I just wanna do a very, very, very quick review on the A, B's, and C's, right, of a parabola. So, here, I just want to review very, very quickly with you guys, all right, to find some A's, B's, and C's, okay? So I'll go through this again very quickly, okay? All right, so for A here, what's A? Yeah, 2, right? What's B? Yeah, -9, okay? Not 9, -9. And then C is 4, right? What about this one? What's A? 1, right? What's B? 2, right? What's C? Yeah, -35, right? Now, what's A here? 3, right? What's B? -2, and what's C? 0, right? All right, what's A here? 1, right? What's B? 0, right? Because there's no X term, right? What's C? Yep, -100. Okay, now for this last one, what's A here? You don't know yet, okay? So what do you think you need to do in order to get to that point where you can read it as a quadratic formula? Yeah, you have to actually distribute, okay? So here we got distribute equals 12. Now, you still can't look at, so for example, if you look at this and you say A is 2 and B is 3, you'd be right so far. But C, if you write 12, that's wrong. Okay, why? Because all these terms have to line up on the same side. All right, so 2x squared plus 3x minus 12. So you gotta bring 12 back over to the other side, and you do that by subtracting on both sides. All right, so you gotta subtract 12 equals 0. So what's C? It's actually negative 12. Okay, all right, just a quick review. All right, now let's get back to the main event here. So here the quadratic formula, all right, and the expectation is that as far as the regions is concerned, it's provided on the formula reference sheet in the back of the booklet. Okay, so you can look it up. But personally, when I was your age, all right, we had to memorize it. Like, we just memorized it. Like, even if and I don't remember that clearly, but even if we don't have to memorize it, we used it so much that we ended up memorizing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, if you're going to do 15, 20 questions in a class, right? Like, you're going to go to the formula every time. Like, just not going to happen. You're gonna end up memorizing it, okay? So if you want to memorize it now, that's fine. But by the end of the 3 days, you would have had it memorized already, okay? Just from the sheer amount of practice that you guys are going to get. Now, while I was talking, I was highlighting this part, right? Does this look familiar? Yeah, that's the discriminant. Right, remember that? So what I did yesterday was this then. I wanted to, you know, show you the news, all right? Bad or good, show you the news slowly. All right, so I planned the lesson where we were looking at the discriminant first, and hopefully that will also help you remember the whole formula a little bit easier by having you learn about the discriminant part first. Okay, so obviously the discriminant is part of a quadratic formula, okay? So whereas the discriminant just tells you about the nature, how many, and the nature of the solutions, meaning like the kind of numbers they are, right? Like, so they could be whole numbers, right? They could be decimals, they could be radicals, right? Meaning non-repeating, non-terminating decimals, irrational numbers in other words, or they could be imaginary numbers, right? So that's why we spend 20 minutes yesterday on that. So therefore this is the quadratic formula. Okay, so let's use that as an example to solve for x. Now, looking at this question, right? So let me just kind of carry you guys through a very normal example and what a normal, I was gonna say like a normal, you know, day in the life of an 8th grade student when they solve this, what the decision-making trees are, okay? So for example, the first thing I'm gonna do, if I see this question, unless the question asks me to use the quadratic formula to solve for x like this, I would try to just factor it first, right? There's no need to like use this, you know, gigantic formula to solve something that I could possibly do in my head, right? So I'm just gonna try to solve it, all right? And if I can't, then, you know, we'll go from there, okay? So let's see, 24, 8, and 3, that's not gonna work. 6 and 4, yeah. Right, so let's see, 6 and 4, who gets the negative? The 4, right? Right, now let me double check. All right, I'll use my magic pen. All right, so that's x squared plus 6x minus 4x minus 24. So that's x squared plus 2x minus 24. Okay, yep, so I was right. Now, that said, we know what the answers are, right? If we set it equal to 0, like here, right? X is negative 6, right? I just set it equal to 0. So for example, this is x plus 6 equals 0, and then the other equation, right here, x minus 4 equals 0. So I already know what the answers are. It's just the opposite, right? The 6 becomes negative 6. Negative 4 becomes positive 4. Now, I'm going to leave this out here, okay? So let's just say, right, in a normal day of an 8th grade student, when you see this, and let's just say you can factor it, all right? Let's say that we live in a world where we can factor it, and we need to use the quadratic formula, all right? So here's how you would use it, right? So first, let me use a different color. First, I will use A, right? 1. Just gonna lay out all the letters here, my A, B, and C's. C is negative 24. So watch this now, okay? So now I'm going to use the formula, all right? And I would encourage you, if you really want to memorize it, all right, encourage you to rewrite the formula every time you do this, okay? Because I think that's what I did when I was your age. All right, so now let's get to it. So negative b, right? So negative 2 plus minus, right? The square root of b squared, so that's 2 squared. Now, if it's a negative number, you know what? No, just put a parentheses around it, because I always do that, regardless of whether the 2 is positive or negative. Minus 4 times a times c, so times a times c over, all right, sorry about handwriting, 2 times a, so 2 times 1, like that. Okay, and now you have a lot of work to do because you got to simplify all this stuff. So that's negative 2 plus minus square root of 2 squared is 4. Let's see. Now I'm going to try to do this in one go. Okay, right here. So let's see. Because negative times negative is a positive. So I'm just going to say add. 4 times 24, what's that? 4, 4, 16. 4, 2 is 8, 9, 96. Okay, over 2a, that's 2. All right, we're going to keep going. So here, all right, wow, my handwriting has really gone into the tank right now. So 4 plus 96, 100, that's a nice, now think about that for a second, right? Let's kind of revert back to yesterday's lesson. You see the 100 in here for the discriminant, right? What kind of answer solution are you going to get? Yeah, you're going to get a whole number, right? And you're going to get 2 solutions also. Right, so that's your classic parabola quadratic function solution, right? Now let's keep going. That's negative 2 plus minus. Now what's the square root of 100? Yeah, 10, right? Over 2, right? Still following me? All right, so negative 2 plus minus. So here I'm going to do a split, all right? I'm going to do negative, hold on, the lights just went off. So negative 2 plus 10 over 2, right? Because there's two splits here, right? You got the plus and the minus. So negative 2 minus 10 over 2. All right, let me keep going. All right. Now, if you're doing this at home and you're doing this in your notebook, make sure you leave yourself a lot of space because there's a lot of writing going on here. Now, negative 2 plus 10 is 8. 8 over 2 is 4. Negative 2 minus 10 is negative 12. Over 2 is negative 6. Oh, look. Same answer. See that? Okay. So again, right, just to re-emphasize the point, always try this first. Always try this first, right? No reason to go there. Now, here's the decision-making tree that I would lay out in light of the regions and in light of just problem solving in general, okay? If I was a student, all right, if I was your classmate, right, and I'm solving this, I would always go this route first, and then, unless the question asked me to complete the square, like how we did it last week, I would do complete the square. If they don't say that, chances are going straight to the quadratic formula, unless they let you graph it, solve it graphically. All right, so again, all right, number 1, always trying to unfoil it, right, by factoring it. 2 is unless they ask you to, okay, that's my handwriting right now. Oh my God. Complete the square, right? You would do that. If not, you're probably looking at the quadratic formula, all right? Unless the option is to graph it on a TI-84, okay? Think about it like that, okay? Now, why don't we try one again, and then I'm gonna let you do the last one, maybe one more question, and then I'm gonna call it a day, all right? Because I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information. So now, having said that, I really want you to pay attention again to the second time I'm solving this, okay? So now, I'm not even gonna look. So here, I understand you can factor out the 5. I get that, okay? I get that. I know you can factor out for 5, but let's just use the equation for the sake of practice, okay? All right, so A here is 20, B here is negative 15, C here is negative 10, okay? Again, let me finish what I was saying. So the reason why I'm telling you that is because the number of questions I'm showing you, because I want you to really pay close attention so you can try the next two on your own, okay? And if you can try the next two on your own with no problems, then all you really need to do is practice because you understood today's lesson, okay? So that's why I said that. All right, now, what's the formula again? All right, do you guys know the formula already? All right, I'll give you a hint. Starts off with negative b, all right, plus minus, square root, b squared, minus 4ac over 2a. All right, and that's actually x equals, by the way, because you're looking for solutions, right, for the x, right? Now, let's use this formula then. Negative b, so that's negative of negative 15. So write it out like this, okay? Because I don't, like, one of the things I would say, like, again, I can't emphasize it enough, whether when I was a student or when I was a teacher, is the signs. Like, if you get something, if you get an answer that's incorrect, it's not that you don't know your A, B's, and C's. It's the fact that you neglected the signs. Okay, so don't do that. All right. Let's see, b squared. So that's negative 15 squared. It's going to be a gigantic number. All right, minus 4 AC. So that's 20. Negative 10. All right. Over 2 times negative 15. Over 2a. Oh, 2a. No, 2a. 20. Right, 2a, right? Yep, okay. All right, now let's see. All right, so that's 15 right off the bat there. Now I'm just gonna use my calculator to get the, I'm gonna use the yellow calculator from school to calculate this. All right, so 15 squared, that's 225. All right, let's see. Negative 15 squared is 225, yeah. Now, that's gonna be positive, because again, this is negative times negative. So 4 times 20 times 10, right? Let's see, 4 times 20 times 10, 800, all right? Over 2a, right? So that's 40, all right? Let's see, what is 800 plus 225? Yep, pick the square of that. Square root of 1025, right? Yeah. All right, it's 32.01. Now, at this stage, you could either go with a decimal or you could stay with the radical. All right. For our sake, let's stay with the radical. All right. And I really shouldn't have used these large numbers because you probably can factor the simplify the 1025, but we'll keep it right now just because I want to make sure you just understood today's lesson. All right, let's see, over 40, and then you got now here I got 2 answers. So this is a split already because this is not going to be the discriminant here. It's not going to be a whole number. All right, so I'm going to write it like this: 15 plus, and then the square root of 1025 over 40. All right, and then what's the other solution? 15 minus square root of 1025 over 40. That's it. That's all you can do. Oh my God, what just happened? All right, okay, all right. Okay, that doesn't look very good. All right, now with that said, let me see. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna swap this, actually. I'm gonna erase this, swap the question so you can see the better example, okay? All right, hold on. Give me 1 second, hold on. All right, all set. So when you come back, try this one. If you get it, then I'm gonna stop, okay? I'm gonna stop the lesson today, okay? Again, I know this can be factored out, all right? I get it. But I still think there's value. And the numbers aren't that big, so they're manageable, okay? So here's what I did. I swapped the question, so now you can see the better example here, okay? And so if you want to, you can follow it, and then, let's see. All right, so try this right now. When you come back, I will go over it with you, okay? So press pause right now. Okay, all right, so let's try this. All right, let's see. Let me use purple. All right, okay. All right, let's try this one. So A is 2, B is -4, C is -2. Right, am I right? I got to double check. All right, okay, again, the formula is what? Negative B plus minus B squared minus 4AC over 2A. Now, some of you might say, actually, Mr. Ring, like, how does someone come up with this formula? Okay, my answer is, I don't know. I could look. But even if I knew, I wouldn't use our class time to explain it, all right, just because we're running out of time, okay? So if you want to look it up, you can look it up, all right? Okay, let's see, negative b, so that's negative of -4 plus minus the square root of b squared, so that's -4 squared, put a parentheses around that, minus 4ac over 2 times a. All right, so far so good. All right, you can press pause and check the formula, my formula against your formula. Okay, now that's positive 4. Let's see, 4 squared is 16. That's negative times negative, that's positive. 4, 2 is 8, 8, 2 is 16. All right, we're gonna get one of those. All right, we're not gonna get a perfect answer. All right, 2 times 2 is 4. All right, let's keep going. 4 plus minus, now what is that? 16 plus 16 is 32. Okay, this is a better example. All right, it's okay, it's okay. Let's see, over 4, right? I'm just gonna keep going. Now, here I can reduce that, right? So let's say simplify it. So let's see, is it 8 times 4? I'm trying to think of a perfect square. So here, let me take this up here, okay? So for 32, I think it's 4 times 8. Let me see if I can think of a bigger number. No, so it's 2 radical 8. No, because 8 can be factored more. Yeah, let's see. 16, that's right. It's 16 and 2. That's right, so that's 4 radical 2. Yeah, okay, all right. So 4 radical 2 over 4. Now, this part, you can run into this, okay? But now here you can actually reduce, okay? So you can look at it like this. You can look at it 4 over 4, right? So that's 1 here, all right? That's a 1 down there. And then here, right? This is another 4, 4 going to 4 ones, right? So you have 1 plus minus the square root of 2. Now the 4's cancel out, right? So I'm left with 1 plus minus square root of 2, which you can write it as 1 plus square root of 2, 1 minus the square root of 2. Okay, like that, all right? Let's see. I'm gonna find you another question for you to practice, okay? So hold on. All right, try this one right now, okay? So press pause. Now the answer is gonna come out, I'll give you a hint. The answer is gonna come out as whole numbers, okay? Just to make, you know, just a nice way to wrap the day up, okay? All right, so press pause right now. Now, for the sake of time, I had written down the A, B's, and C's of this question. I rewrote the quadratic formula, and then I did all the substitution, all right, with the A, B's, and C's. And now, here, I'm just gonna solve it. All right, so here we got 5 plus minus square root. 5 is 25. It's gonna be add, right, negative times negative. 4 times 14, let's see. Yep, all right, 56. What is that gonna be? Is that gonna be 81? Yeah, I knew it. All right, so here we got 5 plus minus, what's that? That's 81, like I just said. All right, over 2, right? Yep, I'm kind of still checking my answers as I go right now. All right, let's see, 5 plus minus 9, right? Square root of 81 is 9 over 2. So that means we get 5 plus 9 over 2. And 5 minus 9 over 2, right? So what is that? 14 over 2. And that's negative 4 over 2. That's 7. That's 2. So our solutions are x equals 7 and, no, wait, negative 2, right? Yeah, negative 2. All right, and I checked the answer key, and there you have it. Okay, all right, so if you understood it, fantastic. If you don't 100% get it, it's okay. We're gonna spend 2 more days practicing this, okay? And so, yeah, all right. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.
OMG, that was so good.